Now, for those of you boot campers who've been here time and time again, because we do this just about every other week, you know, normally I don't come really with a set agenda, right? I say, hey guys, hey girls, what do we got to talk about? Right? What's on your mind? What's keeping you awake at night? Not only what are your troubles, what are your challenges, but what are your opportunities? Where are you scoring? How are you scoring? What's going on out there that's working? Because this is also the place where we share best practices. And I've got over 60 of these in boot camp, and I hope, especially for some of you newbies in boot camp, welcome. I hope you take time to listen to them and download them, an MP3, and view them, because I think there's a lot of gems in there. You know, a lot of gems. And I love the fact that you guys participate. Everyone is still flowing in, which is awesome. So welcome, everybody. So today's session is a little bit different in that I thought we would have a theme of goal setting. Goal setting, because it is the middle of 2017, as if you didn't already know that. Time is a-flying, but you're the pilot, aren't you? So I think now is the time, especially in the group business, now's the time to set the goals. It is not just about setting the goals, it's about figuring out how you're going to get there, man. So I've got some quotes that I want to share with you, but this is not going to be a webinar. Remember, this is a coaching session. We're going to talk. We're going to share best practices. Please do share. Go ahead and type away. So what I'm going to do right now, real quick, everybody, as you come in, I'm going to launch a poll here, all right? And I want you to, and don't worry, nobody can see your answer to this poll question, and you can select one or more of the following, but I think maybe one really is your answer. Are you achieving your 2017 goals? Not yet, yes. Already exceeded or never set. So the poll is in progress, and the numbers are coming in. They're coming in strong. Go ahead and fill it out, then we're going to get kicking. And Mike, so seriously, you want to come in and give us some of your goals, wisdom? How much time you got for me? I'm grateful that you're here. Yes, everybody, if you just joined us, the great, the one and only, the man with exceeding wit and wisdom, not necessarily in that order, is my guest here. I just said, hey, Mike, pop in, because he invites me all the time to pop in on his show. Problem is, when I go on his show, all of his audience, they're like, Mike, go ahead, go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee. We want to talk to Stuart. I'm kidding. Well, I know with Mike on the show here, you're going to tell me to go take a hike, go for a walk. We want to talk to Mike Marchev. So, all right, we're going to close the poll. We're going to see what the answers are. We're going to publish, share the results. Hold on there. So, 50%, about half, not yet. A quarter of you, which is awesome. Congratulations, kudos, yes. Nobody has already exceeded the goals, and a quarter of you never set. So this is a great opportunity, because clearly, for those of you who set the goals, you're tracking, you're watching, you're seeing, you know the importance of your goals. And for the other quarter of you that haven't, let this strictly be an incentive, a motivator, a kick in the butt, as my friend Mike always says, a whack in the head with a 2x4 to get you to set those goals. Because goals are critical, especially we're in business. And I know some of you, or many of you, may work for other companies, so they may not necessarily be your goals. So let me just say something to that right now. Because, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, as many of you, and if you work for yourself, you can set your own goals. But when you're on somebody's team, you work for somebody, sometimes your goals are set by them, and I get that, and that's okay. For 22, 25 years, I worked in the corporate sector, and I had other people's goals. Basically, it said, you know the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Okay, so the corporation sets your cheese. And if you want to keep your job and make money, you got to get the cheese. But you also need to have your own cheese set, your own goals. And that could be the financial, and there's lots of goals you can set. But clearly, even if you work for a company on a team, you should still have your own goals. And if you already know your corporation's goals, we're going to talk about that. But if you're an entrepreneur strictly, these are your goals. So make them yours, not mine, not anybody else's. So those are the results. So that I shared the results, so that's done. Let me check the question box, see if Mike wants to make a comment right here. Hold on there. Mike Mike, you tell me when I'm going to turn you on, all right? And I can turn on your camera or just your microphone. Not yet. All right, here we go. So here's what I want to do, friends. I just want to sort of set the tone here. And I want you all, if you don't mind, to be prepared to type in or tell me, hey, Stu, turn my mic on. I want to hear your beautiful voice. And if you're bold enough to turn your camera on, I want to see your beautiful face. But I want to hear it from you if you'd like to either share what your goal is or goals are for 2018, or tell me about what were the obstacles this year that have held you back, that were unexpected, unanticipated. Tell me what were the potholes, pitfalls, or maybe it's just a fear. Did things not turn out as expected? Why? Maybe today for you personally, we focus on what were the issues, problems, situations that occurred this year. Let's learn from them and be able to hit the goals for 18. So you decide what you want to get out of this session, and we can get as granular as you want. Just don't say, I want to grow my group business. I want to make more sales. That's too big. We all want that, I would imagine. Be specific. Goal setting needs to be very, very, very specific. Like Hans. Hans, you're very specific. Not only with your specific goal, but the specific ways you're going to get there. So hang on here. What I want to do right now is show you these quotes. Okay? Hold on. Quote number 1. And this is from Kemmons Wilson. Who knows who Kemmons Wilson is? Charles Kemmons Wilson. Who's going to tell me? Well, I'm going to tell you first. Charles Kemmons Wilson, he's a local Memphian. His family is still here. There's a whole building named after him at the University of Memphis. Why? Because this dude invented the motel, right? He invented the Holiday Inn. And I'm doing a keynote, I'm so excited, on Thursday for the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I'm using this quote in my keynote. So it's very apropos to this conversation. There are 2 ways to get to the top of an oak tree. One way is to sit on an acorn and wait. The other way is to climb it, to climb that tree. That's goal setting, climbing that tree. You don't set goals. You could set a goal, but if you do nothing, take no action, if you don't climb, it's always uphill, friends, right? You know that. Then you're never going to get there. And trust me, sitting on an acorn is painful, especially if the acorn starts to germinate. It's painful. Now, have I ever done it? No, but I'm just guessing. Next quote is, of course, from the late great Zig Ziglar, who is my favorite. A goal properly set is halfway reached. I love the way he inspires us, that instead of focusing on climbing and the struggle to achieve, just set it, man. That's the first step. Woody Allen said, right, 80% of success is showing up. It's the same thing, right? A goal properly set is halfway reached. So friends, for those 25% of you who didn't set goals for 2017, set them for 18. We're going to do it, and we're going to have multiple coaching sessions on this. You're in boot camp for a reason. You've invested in your business, invested in yourself. And it's not because I want you to sell more. It's because there's people out there who need your help. They're making big mistakes. They're doing groups on their own. They don't even know they could do groups, and when they do it, they're making mistakes. They're booking the bare-bone, stripped-down, off-the-shelf product, and they're coming back unhappy, like a big wah, wah, wah. You need to save these people from lousy group vacations. And along the way, sales will build. Next quote. This is from Andrew Carnegie. Now, I've underlined certain words specifically for a reason. If you want to be happy, it's all about happiness, friends. It's one thing if you're successful, but if you're not happy in your success, what good is it? Set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. I love this because it touches on the different things that we feel, that we want as human beings, as people. And many of you, like Hans, I'm not going to share your specifics, but you have goals in many areas of life. I'm an integrative health coach, an integrative health coach. I don't just teach a diet. I don't just teach here's what you should eat and shouldn't eat. No, no. In fact, there's 5 different areas of good health, of wellness. 5 areas of wellness, and food, nutrition is only one part. So goals are transcend business. Pablo Picasso, I love this. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. I love the words. The vehicle to get us there. Fervently is a strong word, and vigorously is a strong word. There's no other route to success. If you want these quotes, of course this will be uploaded as a podcast, but I'll put these in boot camp because I love these and these move me. And finally, Bill Copeland says, the trouble with not having a goal is that you could spend your whole life running up and down the field and never score. You exhaust yourself, right? I've done it. I've been guilty of it. And just so you guys know, I set big goals, huge goals in one book. And then I break it down into all the way down to every day, and this is it. See, here we go. But this is every day, every week. I write out my new list, and one of the greatest joys is crossing out because I have a plan to get me there. Got to have a plan to get there. So here you go. This is it. This screen's going to stay up. Then I'm going to go back and look at your comments, questions, and we're gonna dig in. We're gonna dig in, friends. And what I would hope, perhaps, that if you feel compelled to share your goals here and over all of our sessions together, and maybe even in Facebook, because we're not competitors. There is too much business out there for each and every one of you. You're not competing, and I love the fact that recently, was it you, Hans, posted, hey, I need help. I can't handle this group. Who can help me? That's a beautiful thing. I almost cried when I saw that. No, I didn't. But it made me feel real good that there's trust. So here's the questions you need to be asking yourself. Write these down. What is my goal? My goal. Where am I today? How will I get there? That's the devil in the detail now, isn't it? This is important. What do I have that I need? So what skill set, what expertise, what people, mentors who are already on your team, what resources, BDMs, what do you have? That make sure you make a list of all, because sometimes I forget of all the articles and the podcasts I've listened to. Oh my goodness. I go back and I check my folder and I read it or I listen to it. I'm like, oh, yes, this moved me 2 years ago. I didn't need it then, but I need it now. And then you have to assess what you don't have that you need, and you need to get it. You need to get it. I mean, if you're going to take a road trip cross country and come visit me here in Memphis, well, you got to make sure you got air in the tires, you got gas in the tank, you got a nice oil change, and then you bring your bathing suits. I'll take you up to the lake. We'll go swimming. You got to have all this, right? All right, here we go. So I'm going to leave this screen up now. I want to see if we have any comments. I'm going to start digging in. Mike Marchev was right. The Holiday Inn founder, Charles Kemmons Wilson, and I'm practicing saying his name, folks, because I got to say it on stage in front of 400 people. And guess where the keynote is, where this conference, the annual conference is? It's at the Guest House at Graceland, which is the brand new hotel. No, I'm not on the take. They're not paying me money to say that, but I'm letting you know that I'm very excited to be among the first speakers at the new hotel. Debbie says, I love Zig too. Had the privilege of seeing him twice in person, 1979 or 1980, and again near the end of his life when his daughter did a lot of the leading his talk while he was on stage. Amazing man. Debbie, you have experienced something that I will never get to experience, to see the great Zig Ziglar in person. Because it's one thing to listen to a podcast, to watch a video. It's yet to get another to see him live. So thanks for sharing that. And it sounds like you were inspired and that it is a part of your life. And friends, if you haven't read his books and watched his tapes, my favorite, of course, See You at the Top. Do it. It's wonderful. We can talk about it. Okay. So, okay, Mike, I'm going to turn you on in just a minute because I want to hear your wit and wisdom. Hans, love Zig Ziglar. After 10 months of work, I have determined that the type group I was trying to develop was not working. Therefore, I have totally revised my group approach. Now listen, everybody, I want to read this loud and clear because this is important, because we can all set goals, and as we're on that road running towards that goal, we could be deflected and say, wait a minute, you know, there's something shinier here, and sometimes it's where we should be going. It's the universe saying, pay attention, you don't need to be here, you should be here. Or sometimes we realize, like Hans did, this ain't working, I got to make a change. So Hans said, I have determined that the type group I was trying to develop was not working. It's okay to change. It's totally cool to change because, man, if it ain't working, where are you going? Like Bill Copeland said in this quote, you'll be running up and down the field, never scoring. Basically, you're not running your business, you're letting your business run you, and that's exhausting. Judy says, hi, Stu, for the past 6 months I've been in a real funk. Not too motivated to move my business along. But I do have a group, mine. Judy, you're going to be the group leader. Yay, yay, just like I was on my river cruise. Just go do it, everybody. July 2018 to Alaska, I sent a save the date postcard out and have several clients really interested. See, so Judy, you're doing the group launch sequence. Yay. And I know, Debbie, you're doing it too. Okay, just need to get off my duff and get this one moving. Well, remember, if you're sitting on your duff, you're sitting on that acorn, and it is painful. Get up off the acorn. How do I get myself moving again and be my own motivator? In 2016, I had 2 small groups, but had a few serious health problems that brought me down physically and definitely emotionally. So here's what we're going to do. Mike, I'm going to turn your microphone on right now, and I'm going to reread Judy's question. And if you don't mind, Mike, I'm going to reread it. Give us your take on it, your thought on that. Spontaneous, impromptu, but that's where you're the best at. And give us, you said you had a couple of points to share. I would love that. So hang on just a second here. Let me go to Mike, and I'm going to turn on his microphone. And Mike is coming to us all the way from a little town right outside Cooperstown, New York, not too far from the Omegang Brewery. It's hard for me to say, but easy to drink. Mike, welcome to the Ask Stewart Hour.
Hey, good morning, Stuart. Am I coming through?
Loud and clear. Your laryngitis has miraculously disappeared.
I took an aspirin. I'm good. I'm good to go.
All right, so I want to read this again from Judy, and just what comes top of mind, right? Judy says, for the past 6 months, I've been in a real funk, not too motivated to move my business. And Judy, it happens to all of us, man. I'm in funks all the time, too. And I use Mike to give me the kick, and I give Mike the kick when he needs it, too. But I do have a group, mine, set for July 2018. I set a save the date postcard. I have several clients. Just need to get off my duff, get this one moving. How do I get myself motivated again and be my own motivator? Okay, 2016 had small groups, some health problems that held her back, but brought her down physically and definitely emotionally. And she says help in all caps. Mike?
Well, first of all, it's join the club is my answer. We all live in a sine wave. We're up and down. Things go good. We're up. Something happens. We go down. The mistake we make is that we feel that it's what are we doing wrong? It's what am I doing wrong? And the truth of the matter is, in today's competitive society, you are going to get into funks. Now, the secret is to acknowledge that, but don't stay there too long. And as Stuart alluded to the fact, have a go-to source. Have somebody you can call. Have somebody you can meet that will help you air your particular situation and hopefully get out of it. But that being said, how can you personally motivate yourself? And as bizarre as it sounds, and as every magazine you read tells you the same thing, exercise is not a bad start. Take a walk, and I don't mean go down to join a gym. I mean take a walk at lunchtime. Throw on your iTunes, listen to a couple of tunes, let your imagination go. But I think more importantly than anything, your business is to help people. And helping people should be nothing but fun and exhilarating. And what you forget sometimes that you are helping people. And when they say no to you, you take it personally, you get into a funk, but you can't afford that because your only job is to help people. And you might have to go back to them and over again, because you don't have to apologize. I'm here to help you. This group cruise that you're planning is going to be the most fantastic experience of the traveler's life. They don't know it yet. You know it. And they may say no to you. They may put on their negative face, their negative attitude, but you know how cool a group movement is. And it's your job to keep after these people, saying, hey, listen, let's look at it from a different angle, and keep after them. Quitting is the worst thing you can do. And getting into a funk, you're sliding towards that quitting stage, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. And Stuart, I just wanted to highlight 2 points before I can't stay for the whole program. But I interviewed Anthony Iannarino. He wrote The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. I interviewed him last Saturday. He's an author, speaker, publisher, all-around good guy.
Okay.
And the question came up, when do you quit? You know, when do you give up on somebody? And his answer was very enlightening. You know it, I know it, we forget it. And that is, if you can really help people, why would you ever quit? Why would you ever stop knowing that you can really, you're bringing something positive to the relationship? Why would you ever quit? And I think Harvey Mackay said, you know, when they die, when you die, haha, it's funny. I throw in when they call the cops, it might be time to quit. But you're in a position to bring some value to people's lives, and that is a good thing. So therefore, you should never quit. The other point brought up in the interview on Saturday, which we forget, is that there's a tendency to take the easy way out today. And the easy way out is called social media. Now, I'm not bad-mouthing social media, but I'm saying that it's not the cure-all. It's easier to delete an email with no rejection. So therefore, we send emails because it doesn't hurt when people delete us. The pendulum is swinging back. And here's the statement I want to make, Stuart. If the people on your show want to make more money, if they're really genuinely interested in helping people and growing their business, if those are the truths, it is time for them to start picking up the telephone more. Because that's when you're going to communicate with people, you're going to listen to them, you're going to find out very quickly if they're interested or not interested. You don't have to go through the 27,000 emails. The phone is coming back. People then say, well, no one answers the phone. Yes, they do. People do answer the phone. Do you answer your phone, Stuart?
Oh, goodness gracious. I jump for joy when it rings.
I mean,
of course.
You say executives, presidents, CEOs, they don't answer the phone. Their phone hasn't rung in 5 years. You call them, they will answer the phone. And I think if you're really serious about growing your group business, it's time to do what needs doing, and that is to come in contact with more people, pick up the phone, talk to people, eliminate the word rejection. You're here to help people. There's your motivation. There's your stimulation. They need you out there. What they don't need is another travel agent. They don't need that. What they do need is another good travel agent. And the good ones are the ones who take the time, pick up the phone, listen to the Ask Stuart hour. And I applaud everybody on the line today for learning and listening and picking up a tidbit here and there. And I'm done. Over and out. Marchev, done.
Hey, Mike, or Marv, with all due respect, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hey, I'm going to post your something in our Facebook group, so if they want to come check out that interview, right? Can they get that if they want to see the interview?
Oh, yeah. Let me just give you the URL right now. It's moreonseries.com, right? M-O-R-E, moreonseries.com /Anthony. And they can hear the entire interview I had with this best-selling author last Saturday.
Cool.
He wrote the book, The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. Other than your books and my books,
of course,
I strongly recommend your listeners go buy that book, The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need by Anthony Iannarino.
Okay. I'm also going to post that in Boot Camp if you didn't get it, everybody. Hey, Mike, thanks you. There's a bunch of shout-outs here, but LaDonna says hello, Han said hello, so you got some friends in the house here. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Stuart.
Take care. All right. let me just mute Mike, and I'm grateful he jumped in. That was really cool. And by the way, you know, if you're doing a little meeting, whether it's you know, at the back of Panera Bread, or you're doing a little webinar or conference call, bring in a friend. It's always fun. You know, it doesn't have to be all about you, especially if you're doing your presentation. I told you, you don't want to make it all about the supplier or the brand, right? I know I'm going off a little tangent here, but I find too often travel professionals rely on, put an expectation level on the BDM, the DSM, whatever they're called these days. I was one back in the day, to do it all. And they're, yeah, they may do a great job. Don't assume they're going to do a great job, because some of them are lousy, some of them are great, some of them speak with benefits and not features. So you got to make sure they're going to be an asset, not a liability, but it's still yours, and you have to be in control, because if somebody in that group says, geez, what do we need you for? I'm just going to go book it direct. It's very important. Remember, especially Judy and Debbie, I know you are, and Hans, you are, and Lynn, I know we talked the way back. If you guys are the group leader, and even if you're not, you're the agent in charge, and you're working with a group leader, you have to maintain control, because if you don't, they don't need you. They'll do it themselves, and they're going to make big mistakes. So I appreciate that, Mike. And Judy, I appreciate you sharing. And I can tell you, Judy, that the fact that you shared and you were open and honest is a beautiful thing. And we all have stuff that goes on in our lives that brings us down, that brings us up. Life's a roller coaster. And there are two tracks. I like to say there's two tracks of life, right? There's the happy track and the sad track. There's going to be sad stuff and happy stuff that happens in our life. It depends on where we try to stay more. We try to jump back on that happy track as fast as possible, because you got supporters, you got people who love you, and make sure you got the right people in your pocket. Where's my pocket? Hold on. I'm going to show you my pocket, because I never leave home without it. Yeah, I'm going to get all gooey on you here. Hold on there. There it is. There's my pocket. It's in my briefcase. Yeah, Bob, I will spare you the details, because we're going to get back. This is my pocket. You got to see what happens when I wear these jeans. It's a little embarrassing. I'm kidding. Inside this pocket, a little pieces of paper with the names of people who are in my pocket, the people who I am loyal to and who are loyal to me. And there's business people and there's friendship people, and there's not a lot in here. You know, it's you can't say that everyone, that you're loyal to everyone, everyone's loyal to you. So who's in your pocket, Judy? And this goes for all of you. Well, that's stuff. Life gets in the way, man. And it's about surrounding ourselves with the people that are going to lift us up, light our candle, and keep it lit, not the people who are going to blow our candles out. And that's how we get motivated to achieve greatly. We don't want to impress anybody else. We just want to lead a happy life. And, you know, another Zig quote is, success and happiness are not matters of chance but of choice. Success and happiness are not matters of chance but of choice. Every morning we wake up, we can do the same old thing, get the same old results. You know where I was going with that. Or we can make new choices and try new things, and that's what this goal setting is all about. LaDonna says she saw Zig as well live. His daughter was leading it, but it was inspirational. Awesome. Debbie said, Debbie is, just so you know, is just launching her group launch sequence. She has just over 20 responses to the survey she launched yesterday, which is awesome. So, you know, when you launch that survey, folks, you want to let everybody else know that results are coming in. You have to tell them how many. Coming in strong. Here's the results thus far. Get them excited. Say, oh, geez, other people are doing it. We should do it too, because people are surveyed out, right? Oh, my gosh, I bought a bow tie off from somebody in Etsy, and, of course, they want me to review it. I bought, I can't tell you how many things I buy, and you get a survey. People are surveyed out. So you reward the people who are responding to the survey, Debbie, and more people will participate. Also, the people who have completed the survey will be grateful that you really care, you're really reading the results. And the whole the whole purpose of the survey, go back to Woody Allen, is to truly to get information, to get ideas, but more to get people engaged, to do a soft sell approach about the group. Remember, because step one is the save the date, sort of the whisper campaign. And I know you guys are tempted to get the rates out. Get the rates out. No, no, no. Watch this. You guys ever watch Family Feud? No, the big X. That's what it is. Don't, because once they see the price, they're going to make a decision. I'm going to go, I'm not going to go. More than likely, they're not going to go. Why? Because they have no idea of the beautiful, magnificent, more inclusive package that you've designed. Let that be a goal, to always create more inclusive packages. Let's see here. LaDonna responded to Judy, and I was going to say this too with gratitude. So she starts with gratitude. Be grateful that you are well and healing. And Zig Zig talks about too. Zig Ziglar, he says, have the gratitude attitude. Thank you, LaDonna, for sharing that. Number 2, don't try to do it alone. There's no such thing as self-made. We all need help from time to time. Thank you, LaDonna, because I talked about mentor, the power of mentorships as well. Patty says, the old saying, if you first don't succeed, try again. I know I was discouraged at first, but things are finally rolling now. You got it. Maybe one day I'll share my whole story. And listen, nobody owns a sad story. Nobody has the saddest story in the world. And nobody owns the happiest story in the world. We all have our own stories, and they're huge in both directions. But we all can have, we can all own gratitude. We can all keep raising the bar on gratitude and being grateful for the people who do give us their business, who allow us to take care of their travel. My goodness, how many people let their vacation days go to waste every year? So when they do take it, every minute is so much more important. And Judy says, thanks. You're very, very welcome. All right, so we are back here, and I want to hear from you guys. Tell me if you want to turn your microphone on. Tell me if you want to tell me what didn't work this year that's an obstacle. Okay, so I'm going to pepper you with questions, and if you don't come through for me here, believe me, I got a ton of stuff we're going to dive into, because I want to help you with the goal setting technique. I didn't know if you're prepared to share what didn't work or what worked. Maybe you have a secret to your success this year, friends, that's been working, you're going to do more of. Would you share that with us? And if you don't want to turn your mic on, don't worry about it. Just type it in there. Or let's talk about next year. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I mean, the reason, ever since, sometimes people say, well, you're the group guru, but have you ever done a group? Well, I have. Many, many years I've been doing groups, and you guys know this. I did the first ever Wheel of Fortune cruise 1 billion years ago, and I've done groups along the way, and I did this river cruise, which is a partial ship charter, which is high risk, but friends, I decided to be the group leader. And why did I decide to do a group? Because I wanted to go back on a river cruise to Europe. My wife and I came on. We love river cruising. We want to go back. So be the group leader if you haven't done it yet. Have you guys done that? Let me ask you all, I should make another poll real quick. Who here has done an annual or every other year president's trip? And pick place, not where they want to go, where you want to go, where you have a passion for. And you go, you lead it, because then the true passion is, that's a no-brainer if you ask me. Yeah, of course, if you don't mind vacationing with other people, but remember to do what I did when I was out there telling my friends and family, hey, do you want to join me and Kimberly on our river cruise adventure? I said, hey guys, friends and family, you're all welcome, but there's a rule, and this goes for family and family of family and friends of family. You need to be fun and interesting. I said this flat out, because if you're not fun and interesting, I don't want you on my vacation. This is my vacation too. I'm just getting all the pieces together. Who's coming? They were already asking where are we going next year. Now, I'm not prepared. I'm not going there just yet. I'm not. I got so much going on in my life. All right. We got Sam's in the house, and she says she leads every other year a group where she wants to go. So we got our first mic to turn on. So we're going to take, Sam, I'm going to turn your microphone right on now. Hang on just a second here, and then I want to go through some things on my checklist too to help you begin to set your goals. And by the way, Sam, you're unmuted now, but just a second. Everybody, one of the most important things to me is to make sure I'm giving you the tools you need, the resources you need to be to be amazingly successful in groups. What more do you need from me? Tell me, I'll give it to you. I've had a bunch of requests for more information on corporate groups. And Randall, you and I have been talking. And did that stuff help you, Randall, the stuff I sent you? What more do you need from me, everybody? Tell me. I'll give it to you. That's why you do these calls, too, to find out what's topical, what's hot. We did that show on LinkedIn. Remember, we had Teddy on. Have you guys watched the LinkedIn show? Phenomenal. I rewatched it and took notes myself because I didn't know how to really use LinkedIn the right way. We did a show on how to produce little videos with Catherine Heeg, and it was great. It's there for you. So my friends, my pledge is that if I don't have the answers, I'll get the answers. I'll bring in a guru, an expert. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, far from it. I'm always learning. And I want to learn from you and learn from the other, what you need so I can bring that information in. Sam, are we coming through loud and clear?
Yes, you are. Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, I want to tell Judy I'm glad she's on the mend. I've been going through similar health issues and waking up feeling like a slug every morning. But I found the one thing that does help me is I make lists, things I need to do that day, and I just work through my list. And then I feel like I've accomplished something at the end of the day, and that helps. The other thing I wanted to mention, I was thinking, you know, I got your email earlier about setting goals, and I hadn't really set any goals for next year. But something came up yesterday, and I'm wondering if this should be my goal, one of my goals. A friend of mine who is a musician, has a band, very successful locally. He has, over the past few years, he jokes around like we should do a Hawaii group or something like that. But yesterday he sent me an email saying that he's going to be appearing at the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco next year, and PBS is going to be broadcasting it.
Wow.
This takes his career to a whole new level because the PBS station involved is broadcast pretty much all over Northern California. And I'm thinking, do I need to jump on this now before he gets too big? Or the idea of doing a group to Hawaii, that's a lot of work, as you know. Plus, just the logistics of getting a band and all their equipment to Hawaii. And so I'm thinking, should I pitch a cruise that goes out of San Francisco where we don't have to slog that equipment around? I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I haven't thought this through, obviously, but I'm wondering what you think.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
How big is their following? Is it in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions?
I would say when he appears, like, he's done Tahoe, where he's done outdoor concerts, then he's had a few thousand. Or at casinos, he gets a few thousand when they have big venues. When he appears, for instance, a major hair care product flew the band down to Hollywood to do a fundraiser, which was a huge fundraiser. There might have been about 1,500, 2,000 at that. He goes to Palm Springs. He travels in other states. And I would imagine on those types of venues, he's probably getting anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people. You know, I don't know how big the Palace of Fine Arts is, but I'm sure it's a huge venue, you know.
Permission to speak freely?
Sure.
Okay. I asked of all...
What I'm looking for.
Before... You know, being a coach is a blessing and a curse. If I'm not asked for my opinion, I've learned over the years not to give it.
Oh, no, I want your opinion.
I
can take it, Stuart.
And I say it, always say it lovingly, so listen up, everybody, because I've had experience working on the supplier side, too, the brand side, too, with band groups. So I'm just going to lay out a bunch of things here. Number one, bands are real tough. Unless you're dealing with the Rolling Stones or you know, Bonnie Raitt, a big name, James Taylor, it's really tough. Now, of course, I'm using the extremes, but they really have to have such a strong, remember, affinity. If you go back, everybody, in boot camp, and you see the group viability test that I wrote, the most important thing is the affinity. Is it strong enough? Are people willing, or is the opportunity compelling enough to spend all that money to travel, to go on this date, to use up other vacation time, to spend this money, go this, just to hear this particular band? So this goes, Sam, not just for you, but
Sure.
anyone out there who's considering that. So that's first and foremost. Number two, if they have sponsors, or maybe a strong sponsor, that helps because that means somebody else believes in them, and maybe there's an opportunity for a strategic partnership. I think part of marketing performers is that they already have sponsors, where you can get strategic partnerships that will help promote it, that perhaps will help fund it. And believe me, if it's a big enough product or service, they could have an additional 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, million follower on their social media. So that's important to look at too. The next part is, and let's just get down and dirty when it comes to logistics. Okay, so this is my third. Probably have one more point. You're right on the money, Sam. When it comes to bands and traveling and performing live, logistics are real. It's like sitting on an acorn. It's painful. Because they have to have their stuff. There's an enormous amount of coordination that gets taken place at the venue. And it's one thing if you do it in Hawaii. It's another if you do it on a cruise ship. That's extremely challenging because they got nowhere to store the equipment. You got to get there early and deal with customs, getting stuff on and off. Wow. Now, I'm not scaring anybody or you away from doing it. I'm painting reality here of how it all works. And I would say so my takeaway here, Sam, would be try something more on a local level, and maybe there's a theme to it. Maybe there is a charitable organization to it. If there is a sponsor, are they interested in forming a strategic partnership before you make such a big commitment to get on airplanes and do an expensive trip like that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that gives me an idea of how to approach him about this and talk to him about this. Like I said, we've been friends for about 5 years now. But and I only became friends because I attended a concert. And afterwards, the band does a meet and greet. And for some reason, he and I just hit it off at a meet and greet, joking around, and he ended up inviting me to lunch the next day, And the strange thing about this is I'm like twice his age. But he's got a lovely family, He brought his wife and his kids, and we just hit it off.
Don't say yourself short. Who wouldn't want to be your friend?
I mean, I got a list here.
All right, Sam, I'm going to put you back on mute. Thanks so much for sharing this, and keep us in the loop. See how it goes. Let me just.
But you think I should?
Oh wait! Oh my goodness! Wait a minute! Come back! Come back! You're back on. Say it again.
But you think I should pursue this on some level?
Well, let me just say this because this is going to be my final point. So I'll say it with you. Most importantly, even more importantly than the affinity itself, is okay. And this is a two-part statement, two-part question. It's rhetorical, so you're going to have to figure this out. Is this something you want to do, or is something they want to do? Ultimately, what's in it for the band? Because if what's the band's primary mission? So if you're looking to do this to use them and their talents to bring in people so you make some money, but what's in it for them? It's one thing to be on a PBS special, wow, that's super cool, that's awesome, and to get booked at venues, but what's their goal? Because the most important thing, friends, when you have a group leader, and in this case, the affinity is the band, it could be a chef, it could be a publisher, a writer, what's in it for them? Because if you guys are not aligned and the primary goal is not the same, then you're going to come at it with two different goals. What's in it for you, what's in it for them, and they're not going to do the things you need them to do. And Sam, you're going to need them to promote this like crazy because the last thing you want to do is spend money on advertising. They have to really want to do this. So before you go any further, is this your great idea or is this big idea? And I'll leave it on this, everybody. Group travel works when you're solving a problem for the group. If you're going in and you're selling your big idea, it's your big idea and it's all about you. But if you identify what their problem is, and if their problem is making more money, maybe they want more ticket sales, maybe their problem is exposure and they've always wanted to go to Hawaii, well, then you got yourself a match made in heaven.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Sam. And that goes for everybody in terms of deciding if a group's going to work or not. It can't be about you. Jenny says here, I've done bands, hey Jenny, on cruise ships. It can be a logistical nightmare. Indeed, it can be. All right, let me see if that text is for, nope, that was not for us. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to dive in now. We've got 14 minutes left, and I want to hear specifics. Tell me what didn't work, what hasn't worked, where would you like to go next year, and let's talk about it. Is there an obstacle that's been in your way that gets in your craw? And by the way, if it's an obstacle that you can't get through, maybe it's not a goal you want to achieve. Don't listen here and say, well, Sam's doing a rock and roll group. I want to do a band. Well, no, but is that your passion? That's why I believe in niche, N-I-C-H-E, niche. The more niche you are, the better it is for you to set the goals. Because a goal is not, I want to increase business 10%. Well, that's your big overriding goal. But when you get down to devil in details, how you're going to get there, you got to be specific. And the more specific you can be on where you want to be and how specific you want to get, then you can put a plan against it. We talked about those quotes before, so you got to take the action. Okay, let me bring this up too. And Hans, you reminded me of this too. By the way, I want to read a quote. This is one of a favorite quote of Hans, who's a boot camper, by Thoreau. I love it. If you build castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now, put the foundation under them. Right? So castles in the air, goals, they're just dreams. They're nothing if there's no foundation, if there's no plan to go get them. The other part that you reminded me of, Hans, is what's called the stretch goal. Now, when I was on the brand side and I had a team of field salespeople, and even earlier when I was a BDM, DSM, making sales calls in New York and New Jersey, there was always something called a stretch goal. So I want to challenge each and every one of you today who's on this call to set a stretch goal. What is a stretch goal? That's what I call it. That's what they called it at Celebrity, for instance. A stretch goal is something that and as Hans calls it, he calls it outrageous. And if it's okay, Hans, this part I'd like to share, if it's okay. He sets 3 goals: the minimum, a target, and outrageous. So outrageous, stretch, whatever you want to call it, it's crazy high. Now, I want to tell you something. Whenever I put a stretch goal out there for my team, there were more people that hit that stretch goal than not. Why? Because there was cash, there was a reward, there was recognition of hitting the top, because there was always an incentive too. Okay? And also, listen to me carefully, it also separated the real go-getters from the getters. Right? The getters just said, let me just hit my goal so at least I keep my job. And they would sit on the acorn the other half a day. The real go-getters, they didn't sit on the acorn, they climbed that tree because they said, not only do I want to impress the people I work for, but I want that money. And there's a lot of people out there I can help, so I'm going to go get it. So I love a stretch goal. So please set. Let me see if anybody else has any comments here. Hans says, sure. He says, thanks, you bet. No problem. Okay. Now, the other part about this is the partners you work with on the supplier side. This is a good time, friends, to meet with them to see what directions they're going in, to only work with those BDMs, DSMs who really care, who really want to help you, who really give you resources, who are really your cheerleader. Because remember, they are handcuffed to your success. If you fail, they fail. If you succeed, they succeed. So what a wonderful time to pare down your list, make changes where you need to, if somebody's just not singing from the same hymnal as you. Does that make sense? Got to be bold and make a change. Or if it's someone you love, you adore, they're your biggest fans and you're their biggest fans, take them out for lunch. Say, hey, guess what? As we go into 2018, you're my #1, or you're in my top 10 list, you're my top 5 list. Let me know if I'm your rep, that, because, man, I'm going to love that. I'm going to give you even more support. Okay? And especially if there's a skill set, if there's a tool, there's something you need that you don't have, maybe they've got it for you. Use their tools. Okay, so it's not only about just surrounding yourselves with good, supportive, loving people who genuinely care, who are going to give you loyalty, and you're going to give them loyalty, and they're going to be your mentors, but it also has to do with the business people that you work with to make sure there's alignment. So get ready as you prepare for 2018. And you guys know this. Right now is when people are thinking about groups for 18, and of course, if it's a river cruise, if it's a long trip, if it's a big trip, big dollars, they're already planning it, they're already booking it. For my river cruise group trip, friends, 2 years out I started promoting it, over 2 years out. I did the Save the Data Whisper campaign, because the bigger the trip, the longer, the more expensive the trip, the more people need advance notice. So you, and frankly, even if it's a weekend getaway, you can never plan early enough, ever. I don't believe you can ever plan early enough to it. So now is the time if you haven't yet. So I'm going to challenge everybody, and if you want to post it in our Facebook group, do it. If you want to just send it to me and tell me if you want to keep it private, send it to me, because if you want me, oh my gosh, I could be bringing on terror right now. But if you feel better sending your goals to me, and I'm just going to keep them tucked away, I will. So in 3 months, like a time capsule, 6 months, we'll take a look. How are you? Where are you? I would love it if it's okay that we talk about it here on the show, on the coaching show. Let it be a motivator for everybody, and maybe you've got a problem somebody else can solve. Maybe you can solve somebody else's problem. That's the beauty of group boot camp. Because I'm in the process now of setting my 2018 goals, and there's several things I didn't get to achieve this year in 17. Why? Because other things came up, and you've got to roll. You got to roll with it. I would say roll tide. We've got another boy going to University of Alabama in just a few weeks, and that's roll tide, right? You can tell I'm just the biggest sports fan in the world. Don't tell him I said that. I think it's roll tide. It is University of Alabama, right? All right. Who else we got out there who wants to talk? Who wants to share about what's working, what's not? Those of you who set those goals, who told me that you set goals, where are you? Where are you? Let me bring this up too, something that I use personally, because you know, when I teach, when I train, when I speak, everything I talk about is I only practice what I preach. So when it comes to goals for me, okay, I need to be able to visualize it. So if you can see yourself, Sam, leading this group, this music group, if it's comfortable, all right, and if you do the group viability test, and it's good, then rock and roll. If you want a niche in a particular area to pursue your own passion, which I implore you to do, that's a niche, right? Your passion. Does it feel good? Does it feel comfortable leading your own group, or going out knocking on doors and seeing whose problems you can solve? Are you making enough phone calls, as Mike Marchev said? Are you making phone calls every day? Forget the emails. Are you sending cards? You want to know how I got this gig at the Memphis Inn Visitors Bureau? Oh my gosh, I'm a newbie in town here, and I'm a member there. But that didn't get me in town. I set up a whole plan of getting known, of building up my integrity in the marketplace here in Memphis, so that I can get a meeting with the Chief Marketing Officer of the Convention Visitors Bureau. Big wig. She doesn't have time just to meet with anybody, but I asked for 15 minutes. How many times have I told you guys that I asked for a 15-minute meeting? Now, I went in ready to sell something. Get this, everybody. Listen to this. My goal was I wanted to do a boot camp here in Memphis. But I want to do it with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, so we get sponsorships, hotels, they get behind it, because, of course, there's a lot of venues here that pay commission, so they want travel agents to come to Memphis. So I had a little folder, but I wasn't going to give her anything until I realized that was a problem. So listen to me carefully, because this is where most agents or salespeople go wrong. You go in on a mission to sell something, and you sell it, they don't need it. So here we are talking. We're hitting it off on a personal level. I told her I just moved here. She told me where she lives. She lives Harbor Town, which is on an island called Mud Island. Anybody ever heard of it in the Mississippi River? It's really cool. Not a very sexy name, Mud Island, now, is it? And we start talking, so I said, you know, I was thinking, and then the next thing I know, she changed the subject on me, because I just said, you know, I had an idea. And by the way, the 15-minute meeting, when we reached 15, she said, no, that's fine, we're fine, I'm good. So I said, okay, I asked for permission. Okay, she goes, your timing is perfect because we're laying plans for our annual conference in June. Now, this is 6 months ago. And I like what I'm hearing. You know, you got fresh eyes here in Memphis. You've got travel industry background. Is that something that would interest you for us to talk about? And I said, Regina, frankly, I was at that meeting last year, and I was jumping out of my seat. I couldn't wait to get on that stage to share what I see, what I feel about this vibrant, growing city that's turned tragedy to treasure, that's going through an evolution revolution. Those are some of the words I'm going to use on Thursday. I've got a 15-minute speech, 15 minutes, and it's going to be the biggest of my life. So before you know it, I got the gig. I set the goal, and I worked to achieve it. But I had to see if it was a problem first. And she did have a problem. She needed another speaker. So I never sold her on my original idea, my big idea. Usually we don't sell our big ideas, friends. Usually we don't. Get used to it. Get used to it. Usually we help others achieve their big ideas. Write that down. Our goal is to help others achieve their big ideas. And if we only help those particular people in a comfort area, our love circle, that we love, we'll get it. We'll achieve it. Right? Okay, we are winding down. We've got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Bring it. I want to hear from you. You guys have been a little coy today, which is interesting. Interesting, because I'm not going to set your goals for you, and I suspect you're sitting there writing, I hadn't started to think about 18 yet, but I'm going to, and I expect to see a flood of posted information on Facebook, and so that we can all share, because I want you to have the most successful 2018 ever. Success and happiness not matters of chance, but of choice. What will be your new choices? What more do you need in boot camp to help you achieve those great goals? When it comes to corporate, if you want to go corporate and meetings and incentives, friends, that could be the single biggest area of opportunity. Don't be daunted by the, only the big companies do that. Are you kidding me? You could do that too. You can. There's so many great reasons, and it's not terribly complicated. You're just going about it in a different way. In a different way. So how can I help you there? What more do you need from me in those areas? All right, we're going to start the wind down process. And Lena said, just busy, interesting topic, and your webinar has been inspirational while I work. That's cool. I get that. Keep working and keep, whether you take me in the car, you're listening to me on the treadmill right now, maybe it's inspiring. I would hope it is. And that's it. We are done. But hang on there. Hang on. We're going to give you a homework assignment as if you need homework from me. We're going to be back together in 2 weeks from now, okay? And I'm going to see if I can stimulate something. Hold on. Stick with me. Number one, we had Mike on, who just popped in, but we had Teddy, we had Catherine. I'm trying to bring on that. We had Ron Gillespie from a Celebrity, who's a corporate meetings expert. What are the experts you guys need in? I'll bring them. I'll get them. Believe me. When I make the phone call, they want to come talk to you. Nobody has said no. Nobody who I've asked has ever said no. They don't have time to come talk to you. Okay? Number two, let's talk about what the opportunities and the challenges were achieving this year's goals. I want to know. Number three, 18, where are you headed? Do you not know? Are you lost? Are you confused? How can I help? How can we help as a team, as a group of people? Clearly ambitious entrepreneurs, because each and every one of you who are here today, who are listening, even if you're multitasking, like Lena, which is super cool. Super cool. I don't want to take you away from making a sale, friends, ever. I just know there's a lot of people out there who desperately need your help, and you've got the solutions to the problems. So I want to thank you all for being here today. This is a wrap. It'll be posted on the podcast page. I wish you success and happiness, and don't sit on that acorn. Bye, everybody.